With West Ham playing on deadline day against Chelsea, which is tomorrow night, it was always anticipated this weekend was going to be a little bit hectic in terms of trying to get our deals completed, which makes sense. But what it has done is meant that, as you can probably tell, got a little bit of a lick of paint to the old channel, got a few new bits of equipment, new settings, etc., and a new setup, as it were, for us. So I've been busy trying to get all that sort of stuff sorted, hoping on this Sunday morning I'd be able to spend a bit of time getting all that done, because I'm not the best with technology. I'm not going to lie, I'm not bad, but when I get anything new these days, when it's completely new, it's always a bit daunting, isn't it? When you think, oh God, I've got to try and get everything sort of set up and working. So I thought I'd have a little bit of time doing that this morning. And typically, just as I started doing it, the Evan Ferguson news broke. So let's talk about Evan Ferguson at the moment, because there's a few things going on. The first thing is that West Ham have got an agreement now with Brighton. We were expecting that to happen. We were anticipating there would be an agreement reached. And it's for a straight loan. It's for a 6-month loan deal, no obligation and no option to buy. Now, the preference I feel for most people with West Ham would be we have the option to buy him in the summer, i.e. if he does very well for us, we've got that ability then, that route to sign the player in the summer. Now, Brighton didn't want that. Brighton wanted us to pay for him straight up, say, what, you buy him now or you have him on loan with an obligation to buy. That frightened me. That really did. You'll notice in the video yesterday, if you haven't seen it, I did a video yesterday with Tom talking about it. And the feeling between us both, I feel like it's quite mutual across the West Ham fan base for the vast majority, is that is a really risky move. If West Ham were to say, I'll tell you what, we'll agree a £40 million, £50 million agreement, it's a huge amount of money on a player that's had injury issues. So I was very worried. I'm going to be honest, I've been quite anxious about this one, because it did feel like West Ham are getting quite close to getting that sort of permanent arrangement in place. That's now not the case. We've recognised that there's too much risk. So West Ham have agreed a loan. Now, I understand that's also an element of frustration, as I say, because people are now saying, well, hang on a minute, why bother? Because we're now going to help out Brighton. We're taking on their player. He's going to be playing Premier League football. This is only going to help his sort of status grow, and then they can then look to sell him in the summer and West Ham lose out. I disagree. I'm not going to agree to that at all. The reason I say that is because West Ham haven't got the luxury. It's not as if we've got other strikers and we're going to come in and help him out just to keep give him some more game time. We're getting him in because we need a striker. Let's get that straight. So I'm all for it. I'm breathing a sigh of relief today that that's the agreement. I say the option would have been nice. That would have been good. But Brighton well within their right to say, well, look, if you're not going to buy him, we're not going to give you the option. I feel like that's what's happened there. So that's the compromise. Evan Ferguson, medical is scheduled for today. He will be coming over to the training ground, wherever they'll be carrying out, well, wherever they undertake this medical today, he'll be undertaking that. And now we understand that he'll be unveiled as a West Ham player tomorrow ahead of the Chelsea game. Obviously not at the Chelsea game, being at Stamford Bridge and all that kind of stuff, but it should be officially announced by the club that he'll be there. I anticipate he'll probably be in the stands then tomorrow. Now, there is a little bit of a twist in this. Arsenal are the issue. They've come forward and have made their feelings clear. They want to sign the player. As far as we understand it, though, West Ham's deal with Ferguson is now too far advanced. As I say, medical booked for today. The player wants to join. He's obviously been talking to Graham Potter. It feels like Arsenal come in very last minute to try and get and sort of scupper the deal. And I don't think it's going to pay off. Actually, I don't think they're going to be able to do so. That's not to say it won't. I mean, it's not. I can't guarantee it, obviously, but it just feels like we've been in such long discussions now with Brighton and the player, and we're now at this stage, especially right at the very depth of this transfer window. I'd be very surprised if Evan Ferguson will now just switch his attention and say, actually, I'll go and play for Arsenal. Obviously, there's the attraction of playing for Arsenal and fighting for a title and things like that. I get that. But I just feel that it's unlikely that's going to materialise. And from what I understand as well, I think from David Ornstein's update, is that Arsenal would have to buy the player as well, commit to that. I just think it's a bit too much to happen in such a short space of time. I never really get that, do you? I never really get why clubs sit back for weeks and weeks knowing that West Ham are in talks with Brighton for Evan Ferguson. And when we get it agreed, they go, oh, actually, we want that. I really never understand that kind of stuff. But so that's where we are at the moment. Chelsea have also showed a strong interest in Evan Ferguson. But again, much like Arsenal, I think it's just that they're all a little bit late to the party. And West Ham are going to get the deal done. I'm pretty confident of that. So that's very good news. Now, what's really exciting, I would say, not as exciting as this new setup, obviously, But I would say what is pretty exciting is that West Ham are not done there in terms of bringing in more players, i.e. strikers. Let me coffee in a second. Right, let's talk about Eli Junior Kroupi. He's the Lorient striker, 18 years old, unbelievable goal records at the moment. So he's basically 1 in 2 goal record. He's only young, of course, as I say, only 18 years old. I think he turns 19 in June. So he's a striker, a player that we're very much interested in, and there is a lot of competition for this guy's signature. We understand it that Chelsea are very interested. Bournemouth, very, very interested to put a late. It's coming out now, sort of breaking news that Bournemouth are very keen. Brighton are very keen. But West Ham are leading the race. And we are still leading the race this January, even though we've got Ferguson. Well, we're very close to getting Ferguson agreed. So we're mucking around. West Ham are not mucking around this window. I know there's been a bit of the old talk from West Ham fans, and I get it. I totally get it. I'm very much the same. This is going to be the same old, same old. We talk about going for players all January, and at the end of it, we go, didn't get anyone, and we move on. But it doesn't appear to be the case, does it? It feels like West Ham, as I say, Ferguson, we've talked about that. That appears now to be over the line. But Kroupi appears to be one that we are leading the race for, and we are. It seems to be a confidence that we're going to get that deal done. Now, this is what X has put up. I'm trying to sort of decipher what he means. Also, I've got another player to talk about in a minute. We're going to come to him, the Celtic striker. Kroupi does still remain a target. And this gives West Ham a bit of flexibility this summer into what we're going to decide going forward. So we'll let you know when we hear from a top source at the club. I'm a little bit unsure with this, exactly where this stands with Kroupi. I know that I've been told that we're leading the chase still, and we are considered the most likely to sign him if he's going to go somewhere. But there is a lot of competition. So if we sort of distract ourselves with Ferguson too much, then it's likely someone could swoop in and get this deal done. I really want to see us get that done. I'm really, from what I've seen of this guy, he's got a wonderful finish on him. He's quick. He's got all the right attributes, I think, for West Ham. Someone that really excites me, and being 18 years old as well, I just feel like this could be someone. And the fact that it's always a telltale sign, isn't it, when you see the other clubs that are in for him, and you think Chelsea, very good at sort of identifying younger players and developing. Brighton as well, and Bournemouth. They're sort of like these sort of clubs you think if they are really keen on the striker, and there's got to be something right here. And I do like the fact this feels like an influence as well from Carl McCauley, obviously now working under Potter as the head of recruitment. So I'm really pleased with this. I've got to be honest. I'm really, really pleased. I think this is a good move from the club. It feels like we are actually taking this seriously and wanting to get the business done in January to really kick us on. And there's a view of the summer in mind as well. We are planning ahead. So look, I think this is very, very good. The other one I want to mention as well is Cummings of Celtic. Now, this deal was almost done. As far as we understand it, this deal is almost done. We are hoping that that's going to be wrapped up prior to the January window closing. Reports are suggesting Celtic are absolutely furious. Are not happy about the fact that we've able to come in and do a deal. They don't want to be losing the player. He's again another player very highly rated. I feel like this is more of a development signing, which is okay. That's fine by me. I've got no issues with that. Yeah, look, I think this is a good bit of business from West Ham. We've gone from having no strikers and possibly having 3 in the space of a day. So it's quite interesting. But look, Evan Ferguson, I'm confident. I feel like that deal now is going to happen, which is great to see. That Cummings of Celtic, I think, will happen. Kroupi is the only one I think we've got a bit of a battle on our hands just because of the intensity of other clubs going for him. But we are considered the front runner. So we could be in a position, West Ham, remarkably so, where we're not getting 3 strikers. Now, I do want to say, though, the Kroupi deal, as far as I understand it, as well, I'm not sure whether that's going to be a pre-contractual agreement. I think that might be as well for Cummings. So we've got to find a bit more detail about those deals exactly as they progress. But Evan Ferguson will be a loan, as I say. No option to buy as far as we understand it, and no obligation. The option I was all for the option. I didn't want any obligation, or I certainly didn't want West Ham committing to paying any cost for him because he's got to prove his fitness. But look, that's where we are. I think it's a good day, and I'm pleased, ahead of tomorrow's game against Chelsea, which I'm really looking forward to. I don't know about you. I'm absolutely buzzing for this Chelsea game. I really wish it was today. But we've got a bit of football to sink our teeth into. Brentford Spurs. You know, I think you'll know. Oh, well, I'm hoping that one goes. Obviously, we've got Arsenal City later as well. So it's a good day for football. And hopefully, we get some good news on the transfers, get the Evan Ferguson deal concluded, get that one sealed and ready so he can start playing for us. It will be obviously after the Chelsea game. Hopefully, if he stays fit. And then Kroupi. Kroupi's the one I'm really, really keen on now. I've been watching a few clips of this guy, and I know you really shouldn't do that, but, you know, I've fallen victim a bit, having a little look through, and he looks a great player. He really does. Look, someone we've got to be really excited about. And I know we've got a fair amount of competition there, so let's hope we can get that concluded, because I think that would send a bit of a statement as well. So, yeah, that's where we are at the moment. Chelsea preview will be up a little bit later today. And, yeah, until then, let's see how we go on. Come on, you irons.